Because you only started your personal brand
Yes.
and stuff like a couple months ago.
Yes.
It's been blowing up.
The last 2 months from just a personal brand should be around 1.5 to 1.8
million.
Yes, and we have another 2 in the pipeline. I done the content in order just for us to showcase a little bit what I'm doing and maybe inspire people or help people to not do the same mistake. This one will maybe triple, 4 times, 5x the business that you're having.
A couple months ago, this man posted his first real content online. Since then, his personal brand has closed $1.5 million in deals, with 2 million more in the pipeline. Creators grind for years to build a fraction of that. He did it in his own words.
I don't understand that much about the social media.
This is Erik. He builds villas in Bali, some of the biggest projects on the island. He sold everything he had in Germany and saved just enough to invest in exactly 2 villas, which did not go as planned.
My first project with 2 units was absolutely shit show.
Yet he survived all of that and kept building. But for years, pressing record scared him more than any construction site.
Judgments, what if I get negative comments?
Silenced by the fear every creator knows. But then he pressed record anyway, and everything he'd built suddenly multiplied exponentially.
I regretted to not done it way earlier. So if you're watching, start it now.
Every podcast asks people like Erik what they do, but no one seems to ask why a man who ignores views outgrows the people chasing them, and how to turn attention into actual business. We spent a day behind the brand of Erik to find out how you turn years of unseen work into your biggest advantage.
Yes guys, beautiful morning. Welcome. We back in Bali. Today we're with a very special guest. Without saying more, join us. Let's get it.
Zany boss, suicide door, brand new bag. College girls.
Snake? Yeah. Oh shit. Damn, he in Bali, man.
Rockstar life, so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey.
Good morning.
This one.
Yeesh, I almost died in the beginning of the morning.
Before diving deeper into Erik's journey and learnings, he gave us a quick tour of his house.
So basically this one's garden, sauna, jacuzzi. This one's a small outside bar. This one's for cleaning the dog.
You got the dog bar
Yeah,
here.
because usually the groomers come and then basically instead of having it in the front door, they clean it here. Then we have like a small gym. So basically everything that you would need.
Nice, man. Wow.
Okay, right here, I was a little blown away by the size and beauty of Erik's villa. And while getting a coffee, Erik told me that Bali feels like home to him. So we went upstairs to talk about how his past had brought him here.
Then the unnecessary wine cellar.
The wine cellar in the floor. Wait, can I stand on this?
Yeah, sure, you can stand on it. It's all good. It's last me, so I'm double your weight, so it should be fine. As you can see, I'm a big wine drinker. That's why exactly there's 1 bottle of wine inside. So that's the morning views.
Yeah,
it's very nice.
Truly amazing.
Over there is the beach, so you can see it a little bit, and then on a good day, you will see all the way up to Uluwatu. It's beautiful and peaceful here.
Amazing, man.
I think I done my first jobs, maybe I should not say this one, but I was 13. So basically more or less like growing up on the construction site to make some extra monies on the weekends together with my dad as well, because he's a builder. Then we slowly transitioned to doing fix and flip with apartments in Germany, like renovations, because we not had enough capital to do anything else. I was coming there from like 16, 17 hours working days to like coming to Bali. I only had enough money for 2 villas. My first project with 2 units. It was absolutely shit show.
It was horrendous, eh?
It was absolutely shit show. Europe, you have all your different craftsmen, they all qualified. You have certain contracts which protect you as well. And in Bali, you don't have this one. The quality of the craftsman is like more or less like random. And a lot of sleepless nights in order to figure this one out. But this one was my test. We started like a real estate group. That's called Bali Real Estate Club with like, right now we have 600 people. From there on, more and more people ask me, hey, can you build for me? So we first had for 2.5 to 3 years a construction company. And then we switched to the development.
Just to get it right, because here's the thing I find fascinating,
Yeah.
right? I'm a content guy. I don't know much about construction,
Yes.
but your story still fascinates me.
Yes.
Because you only started doing these videos online and your personal brand and
Yes.
stuff like a couple months ago.
Yes.
It's been blowing up. Like, I'm sure you know, a lot of developers or real estate guys are really trying their hardest to
Yes.
do what you do with a finger snap.
Yeah.
Right?
But
Like,
that's the thing again, if you try so hard, same like if you want to land your first client, it's so hard to get the first clients in. But later on, if you have the abundance and you don't have to search for clients anymore, they're automatically coming. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same with the content. I don't done the content in order to grow a following. I done the content in order just for us to showcase a little bit what I'm doing and maybe inspire people or help people to not do the same mistake. But I think it's way easier if you already have to build a base. You can show exciting things. Imagine I would show at the beginning my 2 villas in Tumbak Bayou, where I'm stressed the fuck out and just showing people basically how I how I micromanage all the time the workers. It would be boring. And now you can go to different projects, you can show different things. So I think it's easier because you already say like, hey, I have the company, so I'm not dependent on content, than to start completely from scratch. At least that's my take. Yeah. Growing the companies is still always a priority one. Content always comes as second for me. And it was more like it was so obvious that I would have so many benefits if I would start the brand right now. And I just realized that the personal brand has such a big power, and it would be stupid to not use it.
Yeah, crazy.
To get to know a bit more of what Erik is doing right now, we went on a tour of his nearby projects to ask him about his business and how his personal brand empowers it. We have worked with many personal brands at our agency, but Erik's subtle blow up in the past months fascinates me. But first, he showed us his motorcycles, including a crazy custom Harley Davidson.
This is her, eh?
Yeah. If you want, you can ride it. It's very nice.
I wouldn't dare to, man. She looks beautiful though.
It's a little bit heavy. It's 380 kilograms, so yeah.
Which one is the picked as of today?
I usually go for the Vespa or this one. The small bikes, because it's the most comfortable to go around at the end of the day. So.
Yeah. So you have a petrol station.
Yes.
In the house.
Because I get so pissed. I try to optimize everything, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to stay always like 10 or 15 minutes. Sometimes the petrol is not there. So what I just do, my workers basically go once per month. They fill it up, it's 200 liters, and I just can fill up directly the bikes basically here, so I save myself time because it's very easy to do.
Yeah,
all right.
Crazy. Let's get it. It's my favorite area, definitely.
It's amazing, to be honest. There's no better spot right now for me than Cesse.
Yeah, it is, eh?
Super duper quickly, it is our goal with this series to dive behind 100 of the most impactful entrepreneurs building their personal brand, to expose their secret sauce and formulas and share it with you as a founder building your own personal brand. So if you've enjoyed watching this video even a tiny bit, it would help us tremendously if you could take 2 seconds out of your day and just subscribe. We would appreciate it a lot, and ultimately it helps us to give more value to you. All right, let me not hold you up. Let's get back to the video.
So this one's 2,500 square meter plot. This one will be laid on 88 units, and we're just 250 meters away from the beach and one of the best locations in Cesse.
So Erik, what I seem to see in like your personal brand, right? Yes. German culture being quite similar to Dutch culture.
Yes.
And in that Western European culture, you see that honesty is very important.
It's super important.
Maybe even over respect. Like people will be honest with you, a bit rude,
yes,
but at least they're honest.
I think that's one of the things we have to learn here, especially with all the different cultures coming in. If people ask me about my honest opinion, I give them my honest opinion. And then sometimes they say, Erik, you're too honest. I say, yeah, but you asked me to be honest, and now I warn the people, say, hey, if I telling unfiltered my honesty, like if you want feedback from me, but maybe you will not like it, but I will be honest with you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe you have the same encounters.
But I also seem to see that makes your personal brand work so well because you are naturally this extremely honest person, which I think in markets like Dubai, Bali, where the real estate market is so booming, you get a lot of people like promising things or, you know, being a bit shady or, you know, not having that honesty as a very first priority, where I see like even you're honest about like, you know, some of your own projects, failures, or maybe going well or going wrong. Or
and honesty is one thing, but I think what is even more important, especially on development and construction, is expectation management. Because otherwise you will have unhappy clients.
Bro, Western European honesty, such a life hack, especially in these saturated real estate markets. It also has layers, right? So you know that if you work with Erik and even you further into the process, he manages these expectations with the same amount of honesty that you came in with.
His whole being is like this trustworthy, honest person because he's so straightforward.
Erik showed us around the project and we ended up on top of a temporary office he's building next to the site of a new project.
I've made the whistling sound twice already today. The views are
There's a signature one from you?
Yeah.
While enjoying this stunning view, I thought it'd be a good moment to dive a bit deeper.
What's interesting to me is like on the outside, it seems like right now your personal brand has blown up in a couple months.
Yeah.
But really it's been 13 years of progression, of learning, of that amounted to. What were some of the things that you struggled with or doubted or?
To be honest, at the end of the day, it's like, for me, it was judgments, like, oh, what if I get negative comments and all the other things? Yeah. Then I was not comfortable with being in front of the camera. But at one point I just said, like, also with my businessman and what I'm having, just what do you have to lose at the end of the day? Yeah, there are comments, but from who? Are they at the point where you want to be in life? No, they are not. So I just started, and whatever is coming.
What do you feel yourself is the number one thing that really caused for that compounding effect to like hit right now?
I think it's a very standard one, but I think it's the most important one. First of all, to never give up, which I left on the table for many years because I don't done personal branding. I could be way further ahead where I am right now. But since I started it, and it's just crazy, to be honest, the benefits that you have out of it.
Mad. Yeah. Did it surprise you to like, whoa, like how much it brought you?
100%, yeah. You're seeing all the content creators and everybody telling you, do personal branding. It's the highest leverage thing you can do. And that's 100% true, especially if you have a business you can fuel it to. If you just start the personal brand for the personal brand, it's nice because you can then later on create a product. But if you already have existing, good working company, this one will maybe triple, 4 times, 5x the business that you're having because you already have, it's working anyways. So now if you get more inquiries in, it's working even better. And I had a hard, long time in order to start with the personal brand finally, and I regretted to not done it way earlier. So if you're watching, start it now.
And with that valuable lesson in our pocket, we went to the next location to ask what Erik's secret is to creating content. And we discovered the real reason to start a personal brand as an entrepreneur.
Where are we now?
So this one is still says this one's Piece of Paradise, so it's 19 units, 11 months in construction. So we have in total 14 months until we have to deliver it to our clients. The whole development was sold out in 2 months, 2.5 months.
And this is like basically a little community, like almost like a little village or a little
The idea
town.
basically for this one was to build a space for long-term expats, because you have cafe, you have co-working space inside there, you have podcast studios, and you have meeting rooms. So basically you don't have to leave the compound if you don't want to, but you're just 1 minute away drive from the beach. So you have everything that you would like to need, because Sese is about long-termers at the moment. Later on we'll switch over, but we ask ourselves how we can make this space as good as possible in order to make it a comfortable stay.
Erik has a remarkable sense for details. He himself calls it German precision.
For example, like these, all the windows and everything we do in-house in our team. So if you move them and everything, also this one in between is soundproofing properly. And these are the things, these are not expensive. So these are costing a little bit more than the usual cheap windows you have, which very shaky.
It's shaky,
and this one will not cost you much more.
I've stayed in the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I recognize that from the place I'm staying.
Because they save money on the wrong things. Or they don't know it better. One of those things.
Yeah.
What a view. Yeah, it's a very beautiful view. You will see it later from the rooftops even better.
Wow. I've got to say, Bali is beautiful. But without drifting into the views too much, I asked Erik the real reason why he started his personal brand.
I like what you said earlier, where it's like you have something to source the attention into. So it's not just you making videos, hey, Bali real estate, blah, blah, blah. No, it's like, okay, we have the business that we can funnel all of that like attention into. And then again, you can take on this approach of like, we don't look at like how to optimize for views and all these things, you know?
Because what I'm seeing, I have a lot of friends, they have like, let's say from 1 million up to 6 million, like followers, whether YouTube or on Instagram. And what I'm seeing them the most of the time, because they were purely content creators, they don't have a business where they can funnel it to. So they don't really know what to do with it. So they like, maybe they have business goals or they have monetary goals where, hey, I want to do 10 or 20K. It's like, hey, with your reach, I can do this one in a week. Like, why you not do this? It's like, oh, fuck, I not thought about it. You know? So that's why it's very important. Like, one thing is to have the reach, but also to know how to monetize it. And what I'm seeing, especially the bigger creators are, if they don't, whether they have the business mind themselves or they have some strategic partner who can help them to funnel it, but most of the time they just want to do the content creation. They don't want to think about that much about different business things and so on, but they have to at some point, because if they not generate enough income, they feel like somehow stuck. And that's what I'm seeing, at least like 5 or 6 conversations what I have with friends of mine, that they are at the point where they have a lot of reach and a lot of followers, but they don't know what to funnel it into.
We work behind online personal brands, and we see this all the time, and we recognize a pattern, and that's why we coined the term creator entrepreneur. So creator-entrepreneur, because basically these days it's a hybrid, but you're always one of the two, a bit more dominant. So where I think you are a lot more entrepreneur,
100%,
and you have people to help you on the creative side. But there's that source that you can authentically communicate from. And you know which is why you say, okay, like I just show up and yada yada. Where the creators, they maybe need to aid more on the business side, right? So like they're super great at creating content, but like how do you then monetize that without it fully being only dependent on like reach and monetizing those eyeballs, which
100%,
yeah, I do agree with, can be a very, very tricky business,
I think Erik's
advantage as a creator is that his business side is so strong, because once he presses record, once he speaks only a few sentences, they add up to so much value. And not only is by that his ICP able to understand this is exactly the person that I want to reach out to, not only is the ICP able to understand that through his expertise and his words, but he's able to funnel all of that attention into the right sources. And later in the episode, he talks about some figures that he already did crazy revenue with 2 months of recording content. And that's not by accident, that's because of this mechanism being in place very, very well.
As he said, like, what's the value of reach if you can monetize it? And I feel like he only needs a couple people to really trust him to monetize it or to make those big sales.
The beauty of building a personal brand as a solid entrepreneur is you just need one. You just need one video to pop off. When that does hit, you see in even the previous personal brands we spoke with, you're able to funnel all that attention into, So if you're building a personal brand as an online entrepreneur, do not stop, because you just need one more to change the trajectory of your entire life. Is there one type of content you've made that you see works really, really well or resonates specifically a lot with the specific person that you're trying to reach?
Especially the educational content, what I'm done is performing by far the best. People reaching out, have better questions regarding this one, have to follow up questions. I think like educational content works by far the best for me.
Why do you think that is?
A lot of these consultants / business consultants for developers and other things, they know the theory world. They know how things are done in theory. They never done the development itself, or most of the time they failed developers and then they go in consulting space and teaching other people how to do things. But you can do certain things in theory, but if you never had actually construction sites, if you never done construction and you not have the real life practice, how do you really want to teach people and give them pure benefit? Yes, you will have some benefits from your theory, but if you never done it yourself, how do you really properly want to teach them?
To grow and develop.
And I think like this is one of the things why people appreciate it, because I giving the knowledge what I'm having from the real world on site and not like in the theory, based on the law, this is one of the biggest parts for me to be able at this point where I am right now at this age is just like at the end of the day comes down to the mentors that you're having and the business partners you're having, which have way more experience. And you learn from mistakes what they done, so you don't have to repeat it yourself.
He really shows how important actual experience is over just knowledge.
His conviction is insane. Like when he speaks, you can see that he knows what he's talking about. In the AI age, anyone can ask Claude and get information. So information is kind of like commoditized. So we need to look for other things that are more unique. And this is hard, right? When it comes to educational content, because the thing that is valuable within your content is information. However, I think his conviction transforms his delivery to where you're able to receive the information in such a different light that when he speaks 2-3 sentences, you kind of tune in almost to say like, hey, what is this guy? What is he saying? I feel like that's just what experience does and nothing else is able to do with your storytelling.
Learn from mistakes. Erik lives by this, and his transparency is one of the big reasons why people follow him. He doesn't only know the theory, but he's clearly walked the talk. This makes him highly creditable and respectable within his niche, and you cannot fake that. Within our agency, we refer to this as your personal leverage. It's your unique edge in your story, background, or experience that makes you stand out as a one of one in your niche. The most successful personal brands double down on defining that positioning throughout all of their content. But what does the future hold for Erik? And what has his personal brand exactly brought to his business? We'll even talk some numbers later in this video, and trust me, this is serious business.
Sure. Erik, we had a site again, man.
Yes, we're at the site again, the next one.
It's a proper one.
Very short away from the beach. So this one's in total 19 units. We have 4 apartments, 4 townhouses, 7 3-bedroom villas, and then we have another 6 3-bedroom villas which we built with a wellness resort as well. And here in the front will be community area.
What a project, man. What are kind of the next steps in your personal brand? Obviously, having seen how fast you've grown in the past couple months, what are the next steps for you?
For me, 100% long form content, because I think that's one of the most important things, and I get told by everyone, my mentors, people, like everyone who's doing any kind of content, like Erik, start doing long form content, because this one is more for the real estate space. People want to buy into trust, and they want to buy into understanding how the people operate and how they're thinking. And I think the only way how to transport this one properly is not through short form content, it's more about through long form content. And I think that's one of the things that I have to get comfortable with again, from the short form, getting into long form, comfortable with how to speak in front of the camera again, because the different kind of settings, right? This is the next steps basically for me, and also to elevate it, because then at the end of the day you can use long form content, chop chop it up, put it on Instagram again.
Yep.
And and I think long form content is the only way to go for my niche at least.
So how we create formats, we do that in 3 different elements, being entertainment, action, and education.
Yes.
So entertainment being like, it's fun to watch, and it doesn't have to be jokes or whatever, but it can be, it looks cool. It can be like it flows well, and it's like, look behind the scenes or whatever.
Yeah.
Then education may be like, someone can watch the video and be like, oh, that was like valuable to watch.
Yes.
And then thirdly is like credibility. So like aligning your action, what you say with what you do, with what you do with what you say.
Yes.
Even while we are here, this is major credibility, right? But then how can you combine those other 2 elements into one format?
Yeah.
Where I think if you do that, you already have such a proof of concept, like from the Instagram, obviously.
Yes.
So you see like it works. And you already do this kind of with your Instagram, right?
Yes.
You show a little bit of a lifestyle. There's a little bit of like a wink to it, you know, in the content. It's not too serious.
Yes.
Then it's, you know, also like very honest, and it also has like education. So
The second biggest risk is construction.
it already has these elements, right?
Yeah.
I think if you combine that into like one YouTube format,
I think you have to do more deep dives in order to understand a little bit more about how to structure long form content in general, which will come with it. It's like, it would be stupid to not put more time and more effort into it in order to understand the game a little bit better.
Yeah, I see it.
And if you want, we can go on one of the units.
Crazy.
So this one is very, very compact. It's one of the most compact design that you have. And you can sell these ones very, very cheap, basically on this price. Where from here, today the weather is not that good, to be honest, but usually you can see actually just 500 meters away from here is directly the beach.
Wow.
They're also building a beach club right now. And you see all the small houses there? This one is built by Ciputra. So Ciputra is one of the biggest developers in whole Indonesia. They also build in China, Taiwan, and stuff like that. But it's the only place where they're struggling a little bit because they're not adapted to the market. They don't understand how the foreigner market works.
Which is obviously where you take an upside there.
100%. I had discussion with them because they asked me for help on how to sell units there. But with this design, it's like, why would you like to live in like a Jakarta designed home if you're on Bali Island? You have to take a little bit different approach, right?
I see it.
We have another project over there which we've just finished, like 4 bedrooms, like more like a traditional Balinese. This was also an old project, I think it was 2 years ago.
Mad.
Yeah, this was a very nice design. Maybe we can see it from the rooftop.
Mad.
And to the rooftop we went, although it wasn't without a little struggle moving through the unfinished buildings.
Especially with my body type, it's always very fun to go through these things. And another thing about these units here, like we just started, this one we're in a 6 month. So it's very fast.
Mad. This is wait, everything?
Everything. We basically have a deadline, or we set ourselves a deadline for 8 months.
Hectic.
Nobody believes us that we can finish in 8 months. We have another 2 months to go, and based on how it looks like, we can easily finish it. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, like say in Germany, Netherlands, how long would they take to build a project like this?
2 years.
Yeah, right?
No,
what you're
no.
doing in 8 months here.
Let's do it. Realistically, I think 14 months, but you have to calculate in permits and all other things. So I think realistically 14 to 16 months in Germany
Mad.
to build it.
It was absolutely amazing to hear and see Erik's success flourish in Bali. But what does that all lead to? Let's talk numbers.
Is there anything numbers-wise you can kind of analyze over the past couple months what kind of deal size your personal brand has been amounting to?
Yeah, so I think let me quick recap this one. I think in direct sales in properties from the personal brand itself, where we generate the lead and then took it over to our setters and closers from the team, I think it would be around like 1.5 million.
1.5 million?
Yeah,
and
in sales. Like
sales.
just for like people buying our properties. For construction, closed deals the last 2 months from just the personal brand should be around 1.5 to 1.8
million.
Yes, and we have another, from the personal brand itself, I think another 2 in the pipeline.
2 million?
Yeah. It seems, just for you guys to understand, it seems super, super big, but it's construction. So it's not like I getting close to the 1.8 million contract or in total volume in, and it's like a massive development. So example, like this development here, if you look into like per villa, you're paying around like, let's say, for example, 120. So it's in total, let's say you build 10 villas, 1.2. So it's not like massive development. So the ones we had a look at, these are in the ballpark around 2.5 to 3 million total volume size. So just for you to put it in perspective, because let's say you sell products and this product is 10K, you think like, fuck, 1.8 million, 1.5 million is a lot of volume, but in construction it's not. So it's like, it sounds crazy, especially for a 2 months time period, but it's not crazy.
I mean,
yeah, it's not bad. Let's call it this way, yeah.
I mean, especially for like, again, starting out content, I know a lot of people are trying to do what you do and working very hard in order to achieve maybe 10% of that.
But that's the thing again, I already had a company, I already had the companies running. Like I already done or doing very, very great even without all the social media. Social media is just a booster again towards it. That's why I said before, like if you have a good running company and you then use it as a booster on top of it, then it's amazing.
Yeah. Erik, I want to thank you so much for your time and energy, my man. I appreciate it. If there's anything I can say, your case is so interesting, man. I feel like you have such great leverage going for you. And I don't know, I'm trying to like reflect it a bit back to you because I feel like for you it's quite normal and everything, but I see personal brands every day, right? I speak with them, I work with them, I deal with them, etc. And I just know that so many people are trying so hard to do a fraction of what you do, you know? So I just want to like give that to you on your journey and send you off to like, you know, do great things. And
thank you, I really appreciate it. Also appreciate your time, and we see you around each other in Bali.
In Cape Town.
In Cape Town as well, on 15th January, around that time, in Cape Town.
There we go.
The success of Erik's personal brand is one of the most unique cases we've seen so far. But the reason for it doesn't lie within the visuals or aesthetics. His secret sauce is simply having 13 years of experience in the business, along with generations of passed on knowledge and expertise. So the moment he opened up and started creating content, his words carried real weight. Even more so because of his radical honesty and transparency, backed by rock hard proof, with many stunning projects under his belt to show for it. All of this quickly distinguishes him as a trusted voice and industry leader, even in what you may call a saturated, fast-moving market like Bali. Finally, we're super hyped to see where Erik takes his personal brand and are stoked to see the journey.